Hey team, welcome back to my channel. The source code to this video is available on my GitHub account. Go to github.com/softwareNuggets, then go to repositories, and look for a repository called SQL Server Examples. Scroll down until you see the file generate sample records.sql. You got it. So notice we say select rand. Now this right here will randomize a value. And if I keep clicking execute, notice the value keeps changing. Now we're going to be using that same function to compute the number of days. Now 365 times 5, that is 1825. That's the total number of days that will take it from this date into the future. So when we put that together, notice that we get 1615, 124, 865. And now you can see how this statement I've placed right here inside of this code. And then we're going to use that in date add. I'm going to add days based on that number that you just computed. And then this is my start date. So now you understand how I'm able to create random dates throughout our system. Now, before we get into this next statement, let's make sure that we understand what new ID does. So new ID generates a GUID, right? One of these site values. Now you can see here I'm saying select top one. That means I'm going to get the first row out of here. Now values is nothing more than an inline table. And I'll be calling that table this alias. It's going to be called table tran types. And then the column for this set of values is called tran type name. Now you notice here tran type name. So select the top one tran type name. This clause randomizes the order of the rows returned by this query. The function newID generates a unique identifier for each row, and the order by newID sorts the rows based on those randomly generated GUIDs. This effectively shuffles the rows, and when combined with top one, selects the random row from the result set. So when I execute this statement, notice we got transfer the first time. So you can see how dynamically I can choose one of the elements in here. I'm hoping this little intro helps you. Let's continue. ID, I've already mentioned that that's an identity column. Then you have a customer ID, a transaction date, an amount, transaction type, and details. Now we're going to generate 1 million rows of sample data, and we're going to populate these fields. So it begins with a random customer ID, date, amount, type, source, category, some kind of hash value, and then details. I'm going to make that look like JSON. Now just for starters, I'm going to start off with just 10 rows of data to make sure we've written this thing correctly. Now we start with set random customer ID equals, well, you've already seen me do this statement before. Now you can imagine if ran returns 0, so 0 times 10,000 is 0 plus 1 is 1. So we can go from 1 to 10,000 for the customer ID. You've also seen me use random date. I'm going to use the day of date add. It's going to give me a number, and this is my starting position. It's going to be assigned to random date. Now remember, I'm going to be inside of a loop, so this just stays inside of a loop for this number of times and computes random values. Now on line 36, set random amount. Now we go back to round. Now imagine this right here evaluates to 0, so that'd be 0 times any number would be 0 plus 10. So we can go from 10 to 5,000. That's the random amount. Now I've explained this to you, so now we have tran types. These are the possibilities. We're going to be using that new ID. Order by that is going to go get the top one and assign that to random type. Then for our random source, we're going to do the same thing. So our inline data table, I'm going to alias it as sources. Here's my column name, and these are the values. I'm going to order by new ID. I'm going to get the top one, so I'll just get one of these from that list. And you already see the pattern. We're going to be doing the category now, and I use the same behavior as above. On line 76, this code takes the @random amount and @random date, combines them to a single string, then generates a 32-character MD5 hash of that string and stores it into @random hash. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build some what looks like JSON. What do you have? Key value. And then the value that we produced here in our random hash into @details. And then we're just going to insert. These are our column names and these are our values. They get inserted. And then we just increment our variable @I by 1, come back up here to the top and do it again. We're going to be testing that to make sure that we're less than 10. Going to come down to the bottom, keep doing it until that is expired. Then at the very end, I'm going to show you how many rows we got. And more importantly, on this computer, I'm going to show you how long this took. Are you ready to do this? Let's go. I have changed @I to be less than equal to 1 million. Now let's go ahead and start at the top here and execute all this code. Go. As you can see, that took 3 minutes and 26 seconds. That's kind of a long time. And let's go ahead and validate that. So I'm going to say select count star from that table. Make sure we get 1 million. There you go. You got it. Let's do a top 10 here. And there you have it, team. How to generate 1 million rows in SQL Server dynamically. Now, if you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave your comments below. And if you could, tell me how long this ran on your computer. You know it took 3 minutes, 36 seconds on my computer. Then tell me your computer type and how long it took. Would appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you back in my next video. Until then, take care.